Lifestyle. We are live and in color. um, give it we're gonna give it a few seconds. All right. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle. We are live. They call me the Honey Badger because I give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business as well as other things, especially on the podcast. Um, this has been an interesting week. Uh, Mr. Beast, evening Theo. Mr. Beast has dominated the YouTube highlights. So you have three sections of social media right now. You have the politics, which the politics are absolutely ridiculous. Each side, all sides, are absolutely stupid. Then you have a secondary niche that is coming forward, which is the attack and reaction niche is starting to get more traction because of politics, because of certain things. And that brings me to Mr. Beast. So I did a podcast episode about this, and Mr. Beast had a friend named Chris. Chris came out as trans not that long ago. Long story short, a lot of allegations of Chris before he was trans or before he came out as trans and after he came out as trans that he's being allegedly being a pedophile. Okay? He's doing very inappropriate things with children. And Mr. Beast is being accused of knowing this was going on. That's the accusation. And this is a family-friendly guy. This is a guy that, to me, it has a big heart, big goals, gives a lot to charity, gives a lot of his time to charity, employs a ton of people. Excuse me. Largest YouTuber out there. And that scares me. So I said this on the podcast, I think it was yesterday when I finally released the episode. But I'm going to put it in more natural terms rather than being like episodic. Episodic. I don't even know if that's really a word. Our RV industry, our RV community is about to be flipped upside down when it comes to content creation. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It may not happen for a year or two. But I believe that this incident with Mr. Beast and his friend is going to cause a lot of brand deals, a lot of brand ambassadors to lose their contracts. So, I don't like it when people lose their livelihood if they're not doing anything wrong, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of Liz Amazing at all, but I do not wish her to be canceled. I do not wish for her to lose her revenue that she's making, lose her business, nothing like that. There are some things I wish she would change, but bottom line is I would not want her to lose everything she's built. I don't agree with all the hoopla and sunshine and rainbows garbage that a lot of the corporate RV dealership YouTubers put out. But once again, I don't want them to lose their livelihood. I don't want them to lose their ability to make money on YouTube. I don't want them to lose their sponsorships, or I don't want them to lose their ad revenue because this has occurred. But it's a big possibility. Now, I know that a lot of the bigger creators like JD from Big Truck Big RV and Matt's RV Reviews and Josh the RV Nerd and so on and so forth, they'll just go back to being independent at that point, if they're not already independent. They'll land on their feet. A guy like me will land on our feet. But imagine the people that are Grand Design brand ambassadors, Forest River brand ambassadors, Keystone, etc. Imagine all those full-time RVers that have been paid to represent a brand, that they may lose their contract eventually. And there's nowhere to go. There's absolutely nowhere to go for a brand ambassador of Grand Design, Winnebago, Thor, etc. There's no way to segue yourself into something different because there's already so many creators out there. It's jam-packed full of full-timers. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram is so competitive with the full-time RV family going out in a fifth wheel that those brand deals, those brand ambassadorships help kind of bridge the gap. So what's going to replace these brand deals? What's going to replace these brand ambassadors? What's going to replace the corporate RV dealership YouTuber? AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to replace human beings when it comes to corporations for content creation. So here's an example, and I'm going to use Camping World. So Marcus Lemonis, I know you listen to my podcast, and I know you watch my channel. I have been told so. So don't shoot me. I'm just using you as an example, okay? Marcus has, I think, like 5 or 6 internet personalities that film and talk about Camping World brands like Coleman, Mallard, etc. Those personalities are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence because that human element of not knowing what people do behind closed doors and privacy is over. We're talking about MrBeast and his friend Chris live together, and somehow, some way, there are leaked photographs from years ago of Chris allegedly hanging artwork of little children, portraits of little children that were allegedly drawn by a known pedophile. So when you're with all this inclusion and equity programs, hi Frederico, with all these programs that are government funded or bank funded or BlackRock funded or whatever conspiracy theory you want to come up with, corporations depend on bank loans daily to conduct business. Most companies, not just RV companies, most companies in general take loans out to pay payroll. It's a payroll loan. So if you're caught having a personality or someone that works for an internet personality that maybe smokes too much pot, or maybe they, hang weird artwork on their wall, there's no privacy anymore. You can't hide this stuff, unfortunately. So what can we do about it? Nothing. Now, the good news is guys like Matt guys like JD, even guys like Josh the RV Nerd, will adapt. I'll adapt. The way I adapted was I don't hire outside help. Only I can screw up my channel. Only I can get myself canceled. Only I can screw things up. That being said, you're going to see a lot of these guys, they'll adapt, they'll become independent, they'll start watching and kind of being careful who they bring in. The interview process for brand deals is going to be further in depth. You're going to start watching these companies that give out sponsorships, not just in the RV business, but this is including the RV business. You're going to see these folks literally, like the Walmarts, the Targets, the Johnson and Johnsons. They're going to start going back 15 years into your social media. They're going to hire companies to investigate every little thing on social media about you. Your drugs, your guns, anything of that nature. What you've said politically, what you haven't said politically, what you have worn. It is going to get to a point that if you want a brand deal or a sponsorship, or you want to be a brand ambassador, you're going to have to be so squeaky clean that pretty much you have to be a monk. And again, this isn't going to happen tomorrow. But I will guarantee you, that after all of this came out about MrBeast and Chris, his friend, I will guarantee you there have been a ton of closed door meetings about how to handle this in the future. And I feel bad for Jimmy. I'm actually a big fan of MrBeast. I'm a huge fan of his. I feel bad that he's been put in this situation by someone that he pretty much grew up in YouTube with. You know, there's a lot of that loyalty stuff that occurs where you start feeling like you have to be loyal to someone because they came up with you through the ranks. This is, to me, this is scary. Because now I'm going to depend on artificial intelligence. I already do a lot anyway. I use an AI program for all of my thumbnails, except for the ones I create myself on the main channel. But on my podcast, on the HBRV Lifestyle podcast, every one of those thumbnails was artificial intelligence generated, AI generated. A lot of my descriptions that I use for all of the videos are all artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT to outline my scripts about what I want to talk about. I put a script together, I throw it into ChatGPT, and I have it sort it for me. And then I can do a walkthrough easier because then I have notes because I have to make mental notes. I can't just read a script. So I make mental notes using ChatGPT, and I don't think I could ever trust anybody to help me with my channel. It's interesting because I talked to 4 different smallish creators like me. They have 10, 11, 12,000 subscribers. And then I talked to 3 people on TikTok that have 50, 55,000 subscribers, somewhere around where I'm at. And we talked about this MrBeast thing. And they feel the same way. Like they're starting to look into the contractors that they use for editing, for thumbnails, for all their team. They're starting to take a second and third look at their team. One of them is starting to Google his editor and went through his Facebook page because they're friends on Facebook and went back 9 years in photos looking for something that could screw him. This is going to be a time of paranoia. We already are having issues with people that are awaiting trial for the presidential election in November here in the United States. It's insanity. We are in insane times right now. And I'm not one to use terms like that. I know that in my next podcast episode coming up this coming week on Monday, I'm going to talk about the conversion to artificial intelligence for RV content that's going to be created for corporations. But now I want to turn it on its head a little bit. So, the other thing I'm going to talk about more in depth this coming week is I finally found out. I now have 100% confirmation of the executive at the factory level that tried to cancel me. And it was shocking to find out who it was. I'm not going to call this person out. You know who you are. In fact, I know damn well you have my phone number. And if you don't, like 50% of the people that work for you have my phone number. You could have called me. You may not agree with me, but you could have called me and we could have settled this. Instead of you trying to backdoor cancel me. Really? Am I that bad? Am I so terrible that I deserve to be canceled because I speak the truth about the RV industry? That I speak about the really good and I speak about the really bad and everything in between? Am I that horrible of a person? And I don't even say anything that bad about your product. It sucks when you get a phone call on a late Saturday afternoon and you're having a really good day, and all of a sudden somebody throws a curveball at you that's like, whoa, who? You're 100% sure you'd stake your job and your livelihood over it? Here's what I'm going to say. I will call this person out if they don't call me. I'm going to give them some time because I know that they're going through year model change. They just started reopening a lot of the factories over the last couple of weeks. And they have dealer days in Oregon and Indiana and the Hershey show in September. But I'm going to give you till Halloween. And I know you watch this show, and I know you watch my podcast. I'll give you till Halloween evening to call me so we can talk about it and sort it out. I'm not going to reach out to you. You reach out to me. This is my version of an olive branch. You call me, and I won't talk about it anymore. Let's have a conversation. Because I don't think it's right that you try to backstab me. I don't think it's right that you try to backdoor me. I don't think it's right that you try to get some other people that are fans of mine to backdoor me. I can't believe you try to get my former employer to backdoor me, when you could have simply picked up the phone and said, I hate you, you little craphead. And we could have go to, hey, how are you doing? Let's have a conversation about it. Prove me wrong. We could have come up with a solution together instead of playing all these games that weren't necessary. None of this was necessary. Good evening, it's Amia. It's interesting because there's some corporate dealerships out there that would rather have me shut my mouth than the factory people. But they don't. They don't say anything. I got a nice little email from a actual general manager of a corporate dealership, corporate RV dealership, that actually said he agrees with 90% of what I say. Can't quite agree with me on everything, but agrees with me about 90% of what I say, and keep up the good work. If what I say and what I do is so bad, then why do people reach out and still want to buy RVs specifically for me? I sold someone who is subscribed to this channel a travel trailer, a Winnebago, little Winnebago travel trailer. I have another one that's buying a travel trailer from me tomorrow. I just got to find the one they're looking for and figure out how to get it to them. And then I have another one that's buying a large fifth wheel through one of my network connections. By the way, it's a brand new Grand Design Solitude. Even with all the frame failure, even with all the frame flex, even with all the allegations of horrible customer service. And they are very well informed. Believe me. And they still said, we want this specific Solitude, and this is how we want it equipped. And I helped them buy it. Why? Because I'm not a hater. As much as people have called me a hater, I'm not a hater. I'm just an educator. But I'm an edgy educator. I'm very, very like you never know I sold something. I told this to a guy I was talking to the other day. He's like, well, you sold something. Yeah, that's my job. You're not excited? No, it's my job. I get paid a small commission to help somebody sell it, to help somebody buy a travel trailer, or to help someone sell a travel trailer. I get more excited about doing a walkthrough video. I get more excited answering your emails. I get more excited getting comments and messages from people in this space. I mean, I get excited when I get an Instagram message from a very, very large YouTube creator. Because I like to talk to people and I like to give them information. The selling part is a bonus to me. The making money part is a natural thing that's going to happen. I also found out that I have fans all around the world. I know it probably sounds wrong, but I have friends scattered in every country. I have fans scattered across almost every country in the world that has YouTube or TikTok. Russia, Australia, Ukraine, India, Egypt, Italy, etc. It's exciting sometimes. I have to use Google Translate to translate the email I get. It gets exciting to get an email from somebody from Rio de Janeiro asking how they can get one shipped to them and how that all works. I like exploring how that works because I had no bloody clue. But I made myself an educated person about it. That's what excites me and gets my juices flowing. None of this crap about Trump, none of this crap about Kamala Harris or whatever her name is. None of this political garbage. None of it. None of it matters. People matter. People is what makes the world go round. People is what puts money in my bank account. People is what keeps me going so that way I can continue what I do. Because if I didn't like to do, if I didn't like the interaction, if I didn't like everything that was going on, I wouldn't do it. But it's a scary world we're in. And we have to be careful of who we surround ourselves with. We don't want to cut people out of our lives. I've done enough of that. I've cut so many people out of my life that were negative. I cut some people that I considered to be very good friends completely out of my life because at the end of the day, it just, I can't be surrounded by all that negativity. I already get enough of it, trust me. All right, Bobby. You do realize that the one you've got probably is a little scary for dealers to take and trade because of all the frame problems. So just be aware of that, okay? Even even people I talk to that are in the market for a used Grand Design, Reflection, Solitude, Momentum, etc., are starting to shop other brands because that frame problem really is spooking people. Even though it's because of how big the problem is with Grand Design specifically. Not that it's a big problem across the industry, but how predominant it is with Grand Design. Folks are spooked out of their minds about them still. If they can steal them, they'll probably do it. But so just keep that in mind as time goes on. Your fifth wheel toy hauler is going to be worth more today than it will tomorrow. It'll continue to lose value every day, especially on the retail market, because the more that the reaction from the Grand Design company, the more it's negatively still in the negative light across the entire community, the more that's going to be harder to get rid of the one you already have. So just keep that in mind. The sooner you can get a bigger momentum, the sooner you're in the market, the better. Okay? And you can just give me a call and I'll help you out. I have no problem helping people buy a Grand Design product as long as you're educated about the frame problems on the fifth wheels and the travel trailers. Okay, well that's cool. 21's really good. Just remember, it's not just about the frame; it's also about the perception and the problem and the allegations of customer service on the Grand Design side. So the sooner you're ready, the better. And when you're ready, let me know and I'll help you find one. Okay. That's very true, the gnome on tour. No, that's very true. You know what's interesting, guys, is and for those that are watching this later, I noticed I got more views this month than I did last month, and I'm only making half the money because all the political content is like on the forefront. They're all paying for ads on the political stuff. No, you're welcome, Bobby Reeves. Um, beyond going to a momentum, if you're going to go to a fifth wheel, you might want to look into Rogue Armored by Forest River, because they're a completely different division of Forest River than actual Forest River. They're run by a different super GM or super VP or whatever you want to call them. Keystone Fusion has made some changes to their garage areas. And then if you live on the West Coast, you want to look into Genesis Supreme as well. So between those four, that should give you some good comparison notes between Grand Design, Genesis, Keystone Fusion, and Forest River Rogue Armored. Good products, all of them. Where was I at? Brain fart. Oh, I remember where I was at. So what I was going to talk about next is the banking side of the industry, the loan side of the industry is not going to get better for a couple of years. I've been getting a lot of emails lately about why um, why interest rates are not coming down. And if when the Fed lowers their rate a quarter of a point, let's say at the end of the year, is the RV industry going to lower? No. The RV industry is the first to go up, and RVs include boats. So boats, power sports, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, motorhomes, trailers, toy haulers, etc. They're the first ones to go up and the last ones to come down. Everything else from cars and trucks will already start to go down without having a buy down rate like a lot of the car manufacturers are doing right now. So the interest rates are going to stay high till probably around 2027, 2028. So if you're waiting for interest rates to come down before you make a purchase in the next couple of years, you're making a mistake. They're not coming down. And if you're a payment buyer, you're not going to save any money waiting. You'll actually save. This is why I keep trying to tell people. You will save more money buying now and refinancing the RV, let's say in 2028, than you will if you wait till 2028 and buy the RV at a higher price but a lower interest rate. Interest rates are subjective. They are not, it's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's fake. It's all, excuse my language, gonna cuss. It's all bullshit. It's all a predetermined dart at the board. Well, I guess that didn't work. Let's raise rates again. Thunk. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, wait, interest rates aren't helping at all. We better stop raising them. But if we lower them, it could get real ugly real fast. It's going to be a while, guys. And by the way, it doesn't matter. Harris could be president of the United States. Now, we'll be more screwed economically if it's a Democrat, and we'll be screwed a little more economically if it's a Democrat for a while longer than we want to. But it wouldn't stay that way forever. But it would be tough, okay? And by the way, Donald Trump is not the savior of the world. Our economy, our way of life would recover faster, a lot faster than it will if it was a Democrat. But it ain't going to happen like, snap, it's done, rates are at zero. No. It's not going to happen fast. He makes it sound like it's just going to be so easy. He's going to snap his fingers and everything's going to be done. Hell no. It doesn't matter who the president of the United States is unless it's all psychological for you. Psychological for me because I'm going to tell you my paycheck and my bank account's going to get hurt one way or the other. But the reality is when it comes to the purchase of RVs, we have a good flow of customers coming in looking for used. Great flow. And we're in the middle of one of the worst economies that we have had in a long time. So, if there's buyers in the market right now, and they're buying now, it doesn't mean there's going to be this big group sitting on the sidelines waiting for Trump to be the next president or Harris to be the next president. It's all BS. It's all garbage. It's all baloney. The only three reasons to wait for an RV purchase, and there are 3 reasons to wait. Number 1 is you simply have not given yourself permission to explore something new. Because that's what this is. This is an exploration. This is a lifestyle change. I talked to a guy who picked up a motorhome the other day that he was selling. And it didn't sell yet, so he decided to go on a trip on it. And it was a great, great conversation with him. And he said, one day I just decided, you know what, we're going to give it a shot. He says, it probably wasn't the right timing money-wise at the time, but we just decided, let's give it a shot. It's 2009, let's just give it a shot. And they did, and they bought a small travel trailer. And he said it was the best experience he ever had because his children's lives changed, his life changed, the lifestyle changed them. Okay, so if you're not ready for change, if you're not ready to go explore a new lifestyle, then you should not buy an RV. Okay, the second reason you should not buy an RV right now is if your ego will not allow you to take a hit on the one you already own. If your ego cannot accept that you lost your rear end on the one you bought, whether it was 20 years ago or 2 years ago, you lost your butt on it. You lost money. And if your ego cannot let you let go of it, and you're not there yet, I always tell salespeople I train, when I train sales guys, brand new people in the business, I always tell them that people who own one already have to love the new one more than they love theirs and their money. If they love the one that's on your lot more than they love theirs, but they love their money more than they love both, you have no way of making a deal. Zero. Okay. So let me say that in another way. So if they have a 2005 motorhome and they're just so in love with it, they're trying to make you think it was better than it was when it was brand new, but they keep tearing apart the one that they supposedly want to buy, that tells you they're not ready. Okay? That's not necessarily a negotiating tactic. A lot of times it's like, well, if I could get what I want for mine and pay what I want for theirs, then I'd do it. Well, you love your money and you love your current unit more than you love anything new out there. Nothing wrong with it. Okay? That's the second reason not to buy an RV right now. The third reason not to buy an RV right now is because in this moment today, buying groceries is painful. Buying eyeglasses hurts your bank account worse than it ever has prior. And we're not talking about, I went from a bill of $100 to $140. I'm talking about the folks that have 6 kids. In 2019, 2018, you were spending $300 a week in groceries, and now you're spending $1,000 a week in groceries. Those are the people I'm speaking about. That they really want to go camping. They really want to build this lifestyle. They really want to take their kids and build memories, but they can't afford to even put food on the table. And they're trying so hard to. Yeah, there you go, Theo. There's an exception to the rule. We always have at least one. But again, those are the 3 reasons I would not do that with. Yeah, used cargo van. Yeah, no, I agree. Agree 100%. We are, a lot of the people that come in and are buying used right now, specifically used, the majority of them are buying them because the payment is cheaper. Only reason why. The payment is cheaper than a new one. Not the price, the payment. Okay? For those of you that love to scream and yell at me and send me nasty emails saying that you should tell people only buy if they can pay cash. Well, I know why you say that. You say that because you want less people out there so you can actually get a campsite. So I understand that. But that's not what I'm going to tell people. So I have a saying. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight. I have a saying. And it's a great saying I've been using for a long time. And I kind of got a mix of it from different movies. Specifically Wall Street type movies like Wall Street. Like Wall Street Never Sleeps, you know. They always say greed is good. Greed is good. Greed, for a lack of a better word, is good. Now, I do believe that. There are types of greed that are really good. But it doesn't matter if it's a yin, a yang, a Chinese dollar, a Mexican peso, a Russian ruble, a United States dollar. It doesn't matter what the currency is. It's all fake. It's not real. Money is not real. Money is a form of you could be a conspiracy theorist and say it's control, but money is to prevent people from killing each other to get something to eat. You know, there's a movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake. It's a freaking amazing little movie. It doesn't get enough attention. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go see it. The currency for them is time. That's real. That's tangible, because if you run out of time because you had to pay all your bills, you no longer are living. You pass away. That's real. What you do with your hands, what you do with your skills, that's real and tangible. Money is a construct to help people live a better life, or to not be savages. It's okay, Karen. Hope you're doing okay. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm doing it earlier because, well, I'll tell you why in about a month. I have to start doing it a little bit earlier. But if we look at money as fake, then when we go take loans out to buy stuff that builds our memories and builds our enthusiasm and makes us stress free, all of a sudden interest rates don't matter anymore. All of a sudden down payments don't matter anymore unless you don't have it. So yeah, it's fiat. It's fake. It's a fugazi. It's fake. Right? And people who don't understand that, they're the ones that go say pay cash for everything. Dave Ramsey. Can't stand the man. The man has no clue what money is and what it's supposed to be used for. No clue. And he gives terrible advice. Horrible advice. There needs to be classes about how money actually works. But that ain't going to happen anytime soon. Because if everybody was educated on what money is, then the rich would not be 1% anymore. The rich would probably be 90%, and we wouldn't be screaming and yelling for more government regulation. We'd all be rich. So, and what happens is a lot of times, like my grandfather figured it out when he was 25 years old. But all his friends he went to college with and high school with called him an idiot, called him a moron, called him names, put him down. And he passed away with a larger net worth than his entire high school graduating class combined. because a lot of times we figure it out too late, or we don't figure it out at all because we stare in front of a TV screaming and throwing our vodka cranberries at the TV, screaming about drain the swamp or democracy's in trouble or whatever propaganda BS is being said on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all that crap. Do you know, do you really know that people who are hardcore into politics are brainwashed by politicians? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, yellow, purple, green, blue, white, pink. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. So anyway, Mr. Beast, man, I feel so bad for Jimmy. I like Jimmy. I'd love to have Jimmy on my podcast. I don't think he'll ever have time for me because I'm not a big creator and I can't pay him. That's the hard part. I reached out to Dana White from the UFC. I've reached out to Joe Rogan. I've reached out to Mark Wahlberg. Nobody responds. I'm trying to interview them because I know they all have RVs. And Mark Wahlberg obviously owns a RV dealership, an Airstream dealership, and I can't get that man to, I can't even get any of his people to respond to anything. I've sent like 60 messages to his team. I've sent over 50 emails. This is just in the last 6 weeks. Sorry, 6 weeks. And no response. So, you know, just one of those things. So anyway, upcoming on the podcast, not this channel, but the podcast channel, I will be talking about artificial intelligence coming into RV content creation, especially for like the Camping Worlds and the Bishes and the Lazy Days and all those big corporate dealership types. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen in the near future. It's on its way. So I'm going to talk more about that. And I'd like to thank everybody, everybody that has purchased merchandise or donate to the GoFundMe or those super thanks, those super chats, for all the support, all the watch time, all the video watches, all the likes, all the comments, all the growth. I'm really appreciative of it. You guys have made this thing grow, and it's you, the audience, that made it grow. It isn't me. I'm just the puppet. I'm just a puppet. You guys are the puppeteer helping me out. You know what I mean? Helping me put on a good show. Um, no, that's going to be on this channel. I'm actually going to do that. I got your email about the wolf pack. Um, and I got an email about Cherokee canceling a lot of orders. I'm doing that for my August 1st update video on this channel. I've made that decision to make it exclusive for this channel. If you guys don't know, or don't watch it, I do my RV industry update video every month. I talk about a lot of things that nobody else does, and one of those things is going to be about the Cherokee plant. I don't think it's ever going to infiltrate everything, but it is going to infiltrate certain things, certain very important things, especially when it comes to RV content creation. It can't get rid of human beings overall because unlike movies like Skynet, from Terminator or, God, I can't think of the others. The difference between the movies and science fiction books and what reality will be is human beings still want human contact. Even like my daughters are 14 years, or I'm sorry, my daughters just turned 13 years old this year. My twin girls. My twin girls want more human to human connection than the millennials do. Gen Z wants more human to human connection than the millennials do. If this was the millennials only, I would say the millennials, especially the ones born in like the mid 90s, they would be the more ones that will allow artificial intelligence to dominate their life. Everybody else, all the other generations, younger and older, still will use it as a tool, but at the end of the day, they want that human contact. Yeah, no, I think they're going to have an interesting take on it. I really do. I think it'll be. I'm going to do it at the very beginning of my August 1st video on this channel, so it will be coming out. Yeah, they are. The Amish are very very impressive people too. I've met a lot of them that work at the factory. So, anyway, guys, that's all I have for this evening. I have to go do a couple quick things. Um, Thank you again. Really appreciate all the support and the love, and you guys are the reason why this is growing and why this movement is growing. So I really appreciate it. You guys have a good night and a good weekend. Okay, take it easy.